All right. Good evening, everyone. We are Team 10, and we're proud to introduce EchoSphere, our innovative music recommendation tool aimed at countering geographical imbalances in music streaming. EchoSphere is about breaking down borders and bridging cultural gaps in music discovery so that your next favorite song isn't confined by where it was produced. Let's take you through our journey. Music is a universal language. Many of us grew up loving foreign tunes, even when the lyrics were a mystery, and for first-generation immigrants, it's a vital link to our cultural roots. Our team are all now living in new countries and eagerly explore local artists to connect with our new homes. Our diverse experiences have driven us to challenge mainstream streaming platforms that limit discovery by favoring dominant markets. Our story is one of passion for global sounds and a commitment to equity in music.
Music recommendation engines are biased. They prioritize geography and cultural trends over actual composition, meaning dominant markets like the US and UK shape listeners' discoveries. This creates a feedback loop where popularity bias reinforces the same few artists and genres. As a result, fans miss out on music with comparable compositions from unrepresented artists. Streaming platforms won't fix this. They optimize for smooth user experience, cost, and monetization. That's why we need a new approach to global music discovery.
So let's look at some industry trends. Recent studies show a marked openness among music listeners with the exploration of more foreign music, and they mentioned Gen Z and millennials driving this trend. To add, the share of English language tracks in the top 10,000 globally declines, and there is a rise in popularity of genres like Latin, Afrobeat, and K-pop, underscoring the growing demand for a more globally diverse experience. And while streaming still remains and continues to grow as the means of music consumption, these current systems remain tied to historical popularity, limiting discovery.
Our web and mobile app lets you input your favorite track, and our data-driven recommendation engine analyzes its musical attributes such as vocal quality and rhythm, ignoring origin and language, to suggest in seconds a similar song from a different culture. Regional filters lets you focus or exclude markets, breaking you free from familiar sounds to discover global music that might otherwise go unnoticed. EchoSphere value proposition is clear and compelling. EchoSphere offers music fan broader discovery across genres and region, help artists outside of dominant markets gain exposure and expand their fan base, and reconnects first-generation immigrants and cultural enthusiasts with their heritage. It's not just a recommendation tool, it's an equity initiative promoting cultural diversity.
By leveraging multiple data sources and keeping the focus on sound, we ensure that the recommended songs will hit the spot. I think, Jessie, you can switch the slide. This will make more sense. APIs like Spotify and Museo provide a wide variety of data points on tracks' attributes, and when combined together, we keep the metrics agnostic to the creators of those scales. And to break the recommendation bubble, we factor in the country of the artist. Part of the key is also to exclude data that might recreate the problem, for example, popularity data or our own user data.
Nowadays, we cannot talk about music recommendation systems without talking about machine learning. To reduce mainstream bias and increase diversity in training our neural network, there are a few potential methods. First is to regularize the loss function with popularity, geographic, and language penalties. Second is use contrastive learning to pull songs from diverse regions and languages closer in the embedding space. And finally, we can re-rank post recommendation to balance personalization with diversity. Now, though we do not have a whole model trained, we have designed a demo interface to show you what EchoSphere would look like. This is our interface, and if I want to hear something similar to Every Time by Ariana Grande, I just search Every Time Ariana Grande. And I find the song here that I can play directly from here. But I can also find similar songs from around the globe, 3 songs in this case. This is different language, but it also has a similar R&B taste to it. And we also have explanations of why are we choosing this song. And we intend to explain why the model recommends a song to convince that a song is for the user and probably incorporate LLMs and possibly the DeepSeek R1 model to trace back the thought process of the AI. And if you don't like these 3 songs recommended, you can refresh. And if you like it, you can add that to your like song. So you see that it appears here.
Now we can move on to the SWOT analysis. Our platform unlocks untapped market potential by introducing listeners to diverse global artists often overlooked by mainstream algorithms. However, developing the algorithm is complex, retaining users is challenging, and casual listeners may stick to
I'm
mainstream.
so sorry, Anna, that's your time. I want to thank you guys for your presentation. Bryce, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, great job, everyone. I really like this. What can you talk a little bit about how you plan to monetize this?
Actually, yes, that was our next and last slide. But we have 4 revenue streams. So we have data insight subscription. So we sell fan data to labels and A&Rs to spot emerging talent. We have the freemium model. So free music discovery with paid upgrades and ad listening, analytics and exclusive recommendations. We have a B2B API. So we license our recommendation engine to streaming services. And finally, promotional campaigns like running targeted artist promotions for festivals and music organizations.
I'll ask my question. That's okay.
Yes.
Great job. That was awesome to see. Like how well rehearsed your presentation was. Have you thought about how you would get feedback from users on what they think of the recommendations to help fine tune the algorithm?
Yes, that's something that I was planning on implementing. So we said at one point in this potential UI, we can filter by country, and the user can decide how diverse they want their recommendations to be, and also if they don't like the song, you see this is like a thumbs down for them. We know that they probably don't like this kind of music, or they don't like the relationship between the song that they were sending to us versus the song we're feeding back to them, so that we can decrease the strength of that correlation inside the neural network.
We have time for one more question if we have one. Okay. Go ahead, Leon.
Yeah, great job, folks. Great presentation. Really interesting idea. How would you address all the hard work that the editorial teams put into their playlist that a lot of people access? So this is very much a lean forward product because you're actively having to search for the music, and there's a large swathe of folks that listen to music on the editorial playlist. So how would you work in partnership with those folks?
Maybe I can take that one. I think if we go back to one of the last slide on business model, actually, it was one of our potential business model. The idea was to collaborate with existing tastemakers and music media, so that we can start to actually partner with media outlets that kind of cater for the musically curious, and kind of mix the human touch with the algorithm, where this time the algorithm plays with you and works with you, rather than sometimes it feels like against your own taste by limiting you.
Okay, thank you guys so much. That's time on the question and answer section as well. We want to thank EchoSphere for their presentation, and now we are going to hear from True Live. So give us a minute or two to just transition over to their presentation.